All right, I am live here on my phone. I am not live here on the computer yet, so let me just refresh this real quick. There we go. And let me see if I got volume. There we go. I do. So we're ready to go. Rob, thanks for being the only one here when we first got started. I always like to preface these live streams with this sort of disclaimer, and that is that I've got monetization turned off while we're live. I don't want you to be hassled with ads while we're trying to have a live stream. However, once the live stream is over, I will turn monetization on for people who come in later. So you may be inundated with ads. I have no control over whether they are skippable or non-skippable. I apologize for that. It's one of the many changes YouTube has made this year. And Gary, welcome from Australia, buddy. What time is it there? It must be like almost time for you to go to bed. Wait a minute. Maybe you're 24 hours ahead. Maybe it's still morning. I can never keep up. I'm not real happy with the way this looks. I'm on my phone, obviously, and I have a light back here behind me, and it's sort of making me kind of much redder than I would ordinarily be, but that's life. We're just going to leave it. So we're going 11 p.m. Tuesday night. Wow. You really are on the other side of the world, buddy. Thanks for joining us. I see we have 19 here so far. Be sure and make sure you give this a thumbs up to kind of help the algorithm get it out there. I did want to kind of start off with the fact that I've had a lot of people asking about New Retired Me merchandise, and I really wasn't sure what I wanted to do with that. So I did go on the Fiverr, F-I-V-V-E-R, Fiverr.com website, and I hired a graphic designer to create a minimalist logo for my channel. And this is the logo. You've seen it already on my Life in Motion Diaries channel. This is a sample mug. I'm not real happy with it. I'm happy with the mug. I'm not real happy with the design. And the reason is I have this logo both on a green background and transparent. And I thought I would do this on the green background first, which turned out pretty nice, except for the fact that, and I don't know if you can see that there or not, but I can certainly see it on my end. Right here, I think it is, the two logos are not lined up. One's just a little bigger than the other. So I've got to make an adjustment on that. I'll probably offer this mug both with the green background and a transparent background. I'm doing some research right now on some t-shirts and some hoodies and other kinds of things that incorporate the logo, maybe not primarily the logo, but incorporate the logo, to set up a store online of a print on demand. So for instance, with this coffee mug, once I got it designed and I placed a sample order, it went to production the next day and it shipped like within 3 days and got here within another 5 because it was shipped United States Postal Service. So I don't know what all that's going to mean to people who want to order these from outside the country, but and you know, this is I'm kind of going into this with the same feeling I do with some of the affiliate videos that I do. For instance, on the latest Hovsco 20-inch bicycle, nobody's bought a bicycle. I'm not making any affiliate money from that video. Nobody bought the original 14-inch bicycle, but I got a bicycle. And I will use that bicycle every time I go camping. So, you know, and so nobody may order this mug, but I have a mug. And, you know, that's really all the long and short of it. Let's see, I've got my laptop over here. I'm gonna catch up on some stuff here. So we got Sydney, got Vegas. Woo, 4 a.m. in Vegas. Have you even been to bed yet? Are you still up from out gambling all night? You don't have to answer that, that's fine. You know, I've had people say, I wish you were doing this at a different hour. I wish you would do it like at 6 in the morning. Well, you know, this is it. I mean, at 6 in the morning, I'm at Panera doing writing. I don't want to interrupt that. At 8 in the morning, I'm typically upstairs talking to my mom. So it kind of fits a nice middle ground for me. And, you know, we've got 28 people here, so I can justify that. That's really, really good. Where else we're Kansas, Newcastle, UK. You know, I've never been in Newcastle that I'm aware of, but maybe in the future. I was going to start off, let me pull this up here. I had asked in a post for people to ask some questions that they might be interested in knowing the answers to. And, you know, Rob was the very first one to post saying that he didn't really have a question, but he just wanted to let me know he's going to be here. And he was the first one here. So, Rob, thank you, buddy. Rhonda asked if I couldn't be in the field of education or be a pastor or a photographer, what other job or career would you choose and why? Hey, from Arkansas. I don't know. I really don't know. I think that we are all gifted in some way to do certain things. And for me, I think my primary gift, if we want to call it that, is teaching. And so if I wasn't an educator, you know, I might be a trainer in a corporate setting. I don't know. Teaching is just what I really like to do. Let's see, where are we else at here? Oh, Robin. Oh, sorry, Rob. Thank you for the correction. Robin was the first one to post, and Robin was the first one to be here today, and now I'm embarrassed. So thank you for that, Robin. I appreciate it. Let's see. Charlotte said, I'll probably watch you at another time, but I'd like to know how many hours a day you spend creating YouTube content, including editing, etc. You know, I have 3 channels, and I've stepped away from the photography channel. We'll talk about that in a minute. So right now I'm concentrating on 2 channels. And with my new Retired Me channel, I'm doing 2 videos a week. And so there's a lot of research to be done, some writing to be done, and then the recording and all of that. So I'm probably spending 4 or 5 hours on a video. With the Life in Motion Diaries channel, that really depends. Today's video was from the Lodge factory store in South Pittsburgh, Lodge Cast Iron. I was there probably an hour, but then there's also the 35-minute drive to get there because it's not next door. And then there is, you know, the editing time and finding music and all of that. So it's a few hours a day that I'm doing this, but you know, that just keeps me out of trouble. I'm okay with that. Going Green Mom wants to know how much I think about big overall retirement finances stuff, day-to-day monthly budget type stuff. And I have to say, I don't spend a lot of time on that. I have X amount of dollars every month. I know what I can spend. I know what I can't spend. And so I do what I've mostly done my whole life. I just kind of live day to day. Let me see what I'm missing over here in the comments real quick. Melbourne, Arkansas. Let's see. And any chance you can do a video on Christmas gifts for kids? I don't know. That's a Pandora's box all on its own. I'll give that some thought, but I don't know about that one. Marnie Harrison wants to know what's the best and cheapest way to convert US dollars to euros. Do you do it before traveling or wait after landing? You know, I don't worry about the cheapest way. There's a lot of people out there that will tell you go to your local bank, get the best rate you can. all of that. I am typically, when I go to London or someplace in the UK or I'm going to Italy, I typically only convert about $200 because I'm using my credit cards, and I have cards that don't charge me a conversion fee. So, yeah, I'm just not, I'm not doing enough money to worry about whether I'm paying 5 cents, a dollar too much, or and I don't bring any money back with me. I mean, I might have, like from my Italy trip, I might have had €5 in my pocket. I don't go back and reclaim that. I just wait till the next time I go. So it's one of those things that I just don't really worry about. Deborah wants to know, she's anticipating retirement next year, wondering if you've naturally fallen into somewhat of a daily, weekly routine. Yes, it's pretty much the same routine I had when I was working. I kind of thought maybe when I retired I might sleep till 6, but I don't. I mean, this morning I was up at 3:45. The first 2 or 3 hours, if you watch yesterday's Life in Motion Diaries video, the first 2 or 3 hours are primarily the same thing every day. And I try to get most of my stuff done by noon if I can, because I am a morning person. So by the afternoon, I'm not really interested in doing much, and my creativity levels drop. I will video in the afternoon, and I'll edit in the afternoon if I have to, but if it's at all possible, I like to get things done in the morning. Now, for instance, today, I'm going up to Sweetwater to take some photography equipment to a friend of mine, and I'm going to come back down through Athens, Tennessee to do my Life in Motion Diaries video today. I will probably be there an hour and a half to 2 hours because I have a particular topic I want to talk about there. But, that's sort of the routine. Pam wants to know if I have any idea where your next vacation will be. Up until about 2 days ago, I would say no. But I'm seriously considering, I'm not on Facebook anymore, and so I don't have access to this group on Facebook that I used to be a part of. But I am friends with a photographer on Instagram who's in that group, and he is in the UK. And for a couple of years, they didn't do the 24-hour photo walk, and now it's back again. I think it's been going on the last couple of years. And that takes place on June 21st in downtown London. It is literally, they start at noon on Saturday and they go to noon on Sunday, and you don't stop. You are photographing the streets of London for 24 hours. And at the end of that time, you get a t-shirt. I've been twice. I'm probably the only person coming from overseas ever in the history of the program. But I love London and I love photography, and I'm seriously thinking about that trip. However, going to London in June is about $500 more for a plane ticket than if I went in March, and so I have to think about how much it's going to cost. But I'm starting to research that to see if I want to do that. Someone wants to know about the algorithm. What effect does liking a video versus liking a comment? How does that affect the algorithm? I have no idea. I don't. I do know that the fact that I now have 40 people here, and I will probably have about 150 altogether before it's over, because people come and go during the live stream. Most of my live streams wind up with about 800 views overall. Not a lot of engagement there, okay? But then if I have a video that I post, like Thursday's video that's coming up, might be something of interest to a lot of people. And if my regular viewers, not subscribers, my regular viewers, if I get more of those people to watch the video, then the algorithm starts to share it out. And the more people comment and like the video and engage with the content, then YouTube also, and if they share that video, like if somebody's watching it, I have somebody sometimes say, I shared your video to on my post on Facebook. I hope that's okay. It's okay. That always helps. So, but exactly how it impacts each individual thing, I'm just really not that sure. Lori says, I see comments about how early that is for some of your subscribers. I live in the same time zone as you and wish you would do it at 6. Yeah, I don't think I'm going to do it at 6. I'm sorry. Lori, I hope you're watching when it's over. You know, even my mom, now she may leave a comment here in a minute, but my mom is like, you're starting at 7, I probably won't be logging in. But she might at 7:45 because she's starting to sort of get started on her day. Going Green Mom, do you exercise or do mobility type exercises or anything regularly? I know you do the carnivore stuff, but wasn't sure if you're on a weight loss journey or think about movement beyond everyday activity to keep mobility or prepare for the walking on your trips. Walking is really the only exercise I do. I have downloaded an app to start doing chair yoga, which I've had it now on my phone for about 30 days and I haven't started yet. But, you know, it's about a 20-minute thing in the morning, and I'm going to try to sort of put that into my regular routine. I would love to say that I'm still losing weight, but I'm not. I don't know. We'll do some more updates on that later, but walking is really the main thing that I do. Let's see. And I'm sorry, I don't know how to pronounce your name. I really don't, so I'm not going to try. But this person wants to know, can you please be less critical of yourself? No. A lot of times my self-criticism is really just poking fun at myself. It's not really to be taken that seriously. But I do battle what they call imposter syndrome. You know, I had somebody post a comment the other day on a video that I did recently about starting a channel after 40. And this person, who has never posted a video before, to my knowledge, never watched any other videos on my channel, the comment was, you know, it's so funny that you're here trying to sell a program, which I'm not. I think I was talking about the new the grant, which I'm not trying to sell a program there. And his comment was, and you don't even put timestamps in your videos. Well, sometimes I do, sometimes I don't, but you know, it's not a big deal for me. I don't worry about it. But those kinds of comments kind of sting a little bit at times. But I shrug them off after about 10 or 15 minutes. Let's see. I'm amazed how many targets you hit. Is there a secret sauce? Not for me. I really, up until this point, and probably going into January of 2025, I haven't really done a lot to grow this channel. It's just been hit and miss. You know, I mentioned a little while ago I'd lost a hit. But, you know, I could spend a lot of time researching keywords and really crafting a description and trying to get the thumbnail, you know, something that people want to click on. I just don't spend a lot of time with that. As I start that maybe in 2025 and see how things progress from there, maybe we'll comment on it a little later then. Let me catch up real quick. Let's see. Couldn't sleep. There you are. How about that? Linda, after you did your big decluttering, was there anything you wished you did not get rid of? That cast iron pan. And I'm serious about that, because after I started to do the putting things together for camping, it would have been the perfect size pan for that. Now, today's video was shot, the Life in Motion Diaries video was shot yesterday at the Lodge Cast Iron Factory store. And I saw some pans there that I might go back and get later, primarily for camping, maybe for baking. I love cast iron pans. So let's see. Yeah, the text is probably a little bit behind. Let's see. Why are you still coughing? I cough because my throat gets a little bit scratchy, and because honestly, I just don't talk this much. Um, it didn't used to do this when I was talking all day long, but I spend most of my day not talking to anyone, and so now talking is a little bit weird. So that's why I'm trying to stay hydrated here. Let's see. Cardio cramming. I don't know what that is. Maybe you can explain that in the comments here. Cardio drumming. Okay, that is a little clearer. Would you enjoy a nice experience out for a nice dinner? I'm planning a video about that, probably on the Life in Motion Diaries channel. There's a restaurant in downtown Chattanooga that I just absolutely love, and I don't go there near enough, and it's called Hello Monty. And it's right on Main Street. It's not too far from the Guitar Museum that I went to not too long ago, and from the Mean Mug Coffee Shop that I go to occasionally. It's just a fun little place. The food is excellent, and I've wanted to go there for the Life in Motion Diaries channel, and I just haven't started doing that. And here's a little disclaimer of what might be coming up for a while in 2025. One of the reasons that I don't do much at restaurants, or you won't see me eating much at a food truck or those kinds of things, is because I've really limited myself with the carnivore diet, trying to eat healthy. And I'm probably, I wasn't worried about that over Thanksgiving. I certainly won't be worried about it over Christmas. I'll eat whatever's there. But I'm thinking for the first 2 or 3 months of 2025 at least, I may just go off of that. Try to keep my carb count low, but go back to eating kind of normal food that normal people eat. Because it opens up a whole range for me of being able to make videos. And I don't have anything against vegetables. I just don't eat them much anymore. So anyway, we may do a little bit of that. Let's see. Good morning from Pennsylvania. Yeah, I did. I caught a lot of heck for getting rid of that pan. Do I think the weather in Chattanooga is perfect? No, I don't. And the reason I say that is because we don't get enough snow here. I grew up in Indiana, and I love snow in the winter for a couple of days, and then I want it to be gone. But our geographic location compared to Mont Eagle, which is about 45 minutes sort of west, a little bit northwest of Chattanooga, that mountain range right there diverts the weather pattern away from us. And so they may get snow in Cleveland, which is just 20 miles up the road, and we wouldn't get any here. And in the springtime, probably rains too much, but I try not to worry about the rain. Let's see. Yes, I did already talk about the mug. So let me just put it up here again. This is a prototype mug. This will be changed a little bit. It'll be offered with a green stripe around it, and it will be offered with a transparent background, so it's all black. And I think with the black mug, this is a 15-ounce mug, which is what I use. And then I'm also going to do a white mug with 11-ounce and 15-ounce, because sometimes when people choose to use white, they don't get a mug so big. So those are being designed. I'm just doing the designing. And I'm hoping to have enough variety of product that on January 1 of 2025, that store can go live, and there'll be links in all the descriptions of my videos going forward from there. And when we do the first live stream in January, we'll also kind of use that time to hype what's there and talk about the different things that you can get. Because I'm looking at t-shirts and hoodies and other kinds of just, regular kind of stuff that people get. It would not all be just a New Retired Me logo. It may be like I've designed a t-shirt that I really like. I've ordered it to see what the material's like. It has wording on the front, and then it has a logo about yay big on the back of the shirt. And another shirt that I'm looking at has the logo on the sleeve with text. I think that text is actually on the back. So, just fun stuff. And I'm trying to keep in mind what the price point is, and I don't want to make it unwieldy, but it is a print on demand. So if you place an order, that order should ship within a week. Because it doesn't matter. They're not waiting for 100 t-shirts to print. They get an order for one, they print it. So, yeah, I'm looking at all of that. Let's see. Yeah, we all cheat on the carnivore diet. We all cheat. But, there's nothing wrong with, eating something different for a meal. What's bad is when you eat something different for a month. My biggest issue, number one, from all that I've read and all of the studies that I've looked at, I think the carnivore diet is extremely healthy, and it has proven very, very good for me. May not be everybody's cup of tea. I get it. That's fine. People are always concerned about my blood pressure or what my cholesterol level is. I've actually had to cut back on my cholesterol medicine because my cholesterol is too low at this point. And so, but, having said that, my problem is that I don't have a lot of self-control when it comes to eating carbs. And so, like, if there was this is a true story, there was a half of a pumpkin pie left after Thanksgiving. And it was just me and Mom doesn't eat pumpkin pie hardly at all, if ever. So I brought it downstairs. Now, do you know how long that half of pumpkin pie lasted? That day. It was gone before I went to bed. And that's one of the reasons why I just try to eliminate carbs entirely. We have to have protein to survive. We have to have fats to survive. We don't have to have carbohydrates. It's a luxury item. So let's see. Yeah, I know. Yeah, cheating more than one meal. Can you comment on the state of the education situation for most teachers? I can only comment on the state of education for myself as a former administrator. And that is that for a lot of places, students at school are out of control. I hate to put it that way, but they're just out of control. And it's not everybody. It is a very small minority of students who will not be educated. And the difficulty that I ran into is that out of that very small minority, there was a much smaller minority of parents who were actually worried about that. Most of the parents, if the kid acted out, if the kid got in a fight, if the kid hauled off and, slapped a teacher, the parent was taking the kid's side, and it makes it almost impossible to control the situation. When you add to that all of the continued regulations that keep getting piled into the classroom and the changing requirements for student success, every 3 years, pretty much, we have an entirely new set of standards we have to teach to in Tennessee. Every 3 years. You don't know what the last standards did in 3 years. So it's hard, it's difficult, and they don't get paid. I'm just going to tell you, they do not get paid enough. I think the starting salary for Knox County for a brand new teacher straight out of 5 years of college, because most of them stick around that extra year for a master's, starting salary is less than $40,000 a year, and they're paying student loans on that. And it's an untenable situation. And the salary structure is such that anybody who's going into maths and sciences, they're better off getting a job somewhere else than in public education, because their salary is going to be twice what it will be, unless they just have a distinct calling for education. What's going to change that? I have no earthly idea. I really don't. I don't have any idea. I think for me, I think I retired at the right time. Let's see. Welcome from Florida. Let's see. Ron, I heard that you might get a little snow up there, and you got snow and ice. Be careful if you're going into work today, buddy. You know, we don't get the what is it, the bomb cyclones or whatever it is they're called, the lake effect snow up in New York, where I-90 was shut down with all these hundreds of cars just stranded out on the road. 1993 was probably the worst snowstorm we've had in years and years and years. It just doesn't happen here very often. Let's see. Slap the teacher. Yeah, it happens. David, I hope you would have liked me as your administrator. Let's see. Yes, Ron, I saw your video that you have 21 days left, and 10 of those are vacation days, so you're almost there, buddy. Just hang with it. You're gonna get there. Let's see. Wow, we're up to 54 at the moment. So thank you all very, very much. I kind of this first Tuesday of the month coffee time together, I'm really enjoying sort of this one-sided conversation I'm having with everybody. You know, and it's one less video I have to prepare. So this is actually sort of in my own self-interest of being able to do one live stream a month, where I just kind of take a break from the rat race of YouTube and just sit down, enjoy a cup of coffee early in the morning, and just talk with y'all. I think it's great. I may have missed some other chats. If somebody asks a question that I've missed, please put it back in the chat again. I do think I have this set up so that the live chat will replay with the video when you go to watch it later. For those of you that might have come in late, I think the live chat will be there. It's kind of a two-step process for live streams. So I'm doing this on my phone because it's just the easiest thing I found to do. I'm using my DJI Mic Mini today to get audio. And you know, I could set up my camera and plug it into my laptop and go through OBS and all of that. And thank you, Ron. I appreciate that very, very much. And I have found that I can just turn on my phone and just do a live stream from anywhere that's got a Wi-Fi signal. So to set this up on the phone, one of the first things you have to do is tell it that you want the video horizontally. And then you can write a description, you can upload the thumbnail, you can schedule it for the time you want, but it's very limited in what you can do. So Then once I've got it scheduled, I have to go over to my laptop and log in to say I want the comments to be with the live stream in the recording, and a couple of other little changes there. So it's once I figured that out, it became really easy to kind of schedule these things. Kiki, I certainly hope that's true. I know where you're coming from, and I certainly hope it's true. What I have always said about the places that I taught and the places that I was an administrator, it doesn't matter who the governor of the state is. It doesn't matter who the Secretary of Education for the state is. It doesn't even matter who the superintendent of schools is. And to some degree, it doesn't matter who the principal of the school is. What matters is what goes on in that classroom with that teacher and those kids. And that is, I mean, you have to have the support of a principal. You can't allow kids to run over you, but we're going to see some changes in education over the next few years, it appears. I don't know how much impact it will have. I'm just going to be honest with you, because it doesn't fundamentally change what goes on in that room between that teacher and those kids. And I was a mediocre teacher at best. I was a much better administrator than I was a teacher. But I'd like to think that for the most part, I had the respect of the kids in my classroom. And, maybe middle school is easier than high school. Maybe elementary is easier than middle school. And maybe 25 years ago when I started is easier than 2 years ago when I quit. I don't know. But I do think about education a lot. I have no intention to go back into it. I'm not going to be a substitute teacher, and it's just not going to happen. But I have a lot of friends who are still in it, and I send them text messages, mostly of encouragement, and a few times just to rub it in that I'm retired. Let's see. All right, so what else is coming down the pike? We're coming up to Christmas, and I don't know how y'all celebrate Christmas. I won't be back on a live stream until after that time, but I think all three of my daughters will be here. A couple of sons-in-law, all 5 grandkids. I don't know if my brother's son and his girlfriend will be here or not. But we typically kind of celebrate for 2 or 3 days, and it's a fun time for us. And I will be cooking a standing rib roast. I think I have a recipe for that here on this channel. If you go to my cooking playlist, you'll find it there. Man, that is one good meal. Woo! Well, I'm not going to get into all that, Kiki. I'm just going to keep my comments to myself and keep my fingers crossed and hope for the best. Let's see, what else we got? I see my thing is, why do many of the comments on comments have wide gaps? You may be seeing a place where I actually deleted a comment. I am getting a lot of spam about buying some type of purse at this point. I think it started when I did the video on the Pack Safe bags. And it's a different account every time, but it is exactly the same word every time. And I will go in and report it as spam, and it will disappear. The person who posted it can still see it, but nobody else will see it. So that may be part of what you're seeing there. I don't get so many people coming in saying contact me on whatever website it was, social media thing, because I don't have an account there. Telegram. Contact me on Telegram. That will always be spam. And anytime I see it, I get rid of it. And then I get the ones of somebody posting about how they retired and they didn't have enough money and they got in touch with so-and-so who put them into Bitcoin and turned their life around. And there's like 19 comments from different people saying, can you give us the name of that person? Can you? And they're all spam. Every last one of them are spam. And I will delete those. So I'm trying to do that as much as possible. Excuse me. Whoa, 5 stents. Yeah, okay. Yes, that would change your eating habits a lot. Now, I have an interesting story about that from my grandfather on my dad's side of the family. He had a massive heart attack. We thought we were going to lose him. He had a massive heart attack. And this would have been 40 years ago. I was in my early 20s, maybe 21. The doctor put him on a pretty strict diet. And he finally, after doing the heart healthy thing, he finally just looked at my grandmother and said, look, if I can't have fried eggs and bacon and gravy and biscuits, it's not worth living. And so he went back to his old eating habits, and he had another massive heart attack and died within a few months. Diet is everything. It is everything. And I have not always been on a good diet myself, so I'm trying to be much more cognizant of that in my elder years. Ron, thank you. Yeah, hit the like button if you haven't already. It means a lot for the algorithm that people will say, oh, there was a live stream. A lot of people were there and they seem to enjoy it. Yeah, so anyway, Christmas will be coming up, and then we'll meet again on the first Tuesday of January. And maybe we'll talk about how all of us celebrate Christmas. You know, it's a joyous time for a lot of people, and it's a very sad time for others. And I try to stay aware of that as well. Yeah, seed oils are killing us. No question about it. They're just killing us. So, Ron, thank you. I appreciate it. It's going to change. I mentioned in a Life in Motion diary video the other day that I'm going to get rid of these panels over here, and probably move this picture over, get rid of this couch that you can see is holding a bunch of crap right now because I haven't cleaned this room up. Get rid of this couch and put in a chair so that I've got a little more intimate environment to do some sit down and talking videos. So anyway, yeah, that's coming. I'm looking for chairs as we speak. Let's see. Yes, processed carbs. We have one of the worst diets in the world in the United States. Let's just face it. If you go into a grocery store, if all you did was shop around the outside of the store and never went to get any food in the aisles, you would have a much better diet. And then there's always those candy bars at checkout. Then occasionally I will indulge. Let's see. So yeah. So anyway, we've been on here about 45 minutes, and man, we've got 60 people now. It just keeps growing. People are starting to wake up. So if this is your first cup of coffee, raise a glass and let me know in the comments, and we'll say hello. Good morning, Catherine. Let's see. Today's food is tomorrow's sales. Yeah, that's true. Homemade chocolate bark. I don't do stuff like that because, again, it wouldn't make it past the 24-hour mark. Somebody sent me a TikTok video the other day, or I guess it was a reel on Instagram of somebody making chocolate popcorn, and I was like, "Oh man, I would do that in a heartbeat." But there wouldn't be any left; it would just be gone. Ron, the answer to that question is no. They don't do any good at all. These are sound dampeners. The problem is they should be on this side of me, not this side of me. They're really here for decoration. And so I at one time I had them on this wall over here facing the couch. But again, I've got hardwood floors and I've got ceiling and it really didn't do anything for me at all. I think to really get the benefit, I'm going to have to get a sound dampening foam piece that hangs and just covers up the wall. And it would, the closer it is to you, the more it does. But I've found that it's at this point, it's really not that important to me because I can just run the audio through Podcast Enhance, and any echo this room provides, which I'm sure you're getting some in this live stream, all of that echo is gone. My voice gets a little deeper, it gets a little richer, it sounds like I'm on the radio, and I'm not going to argue with that. It works really well that way. I have a little tiny rug. I have a 5x7 rug on the floor under this couch, but it's not really big enough. I need a bigger rug than that. But one of the reasons I didn't put a bigger rug in is because everything in here is on wheels. My light stand is on wheels. This table that I'm using right now, the FlexiSpot adjustable table, it's on wheels to roll around. And the carpet just sort of gets in the way of that. So I don't know. I'm working on different ways to do everything. So I think it's time. After all this time, I think it's everybody needs a change every once in a while, and it's time to sort of make a change in here. I do have 2 dehumidifiers running down here because I'm in the basement, and maybe that's contributing to my cough a little bit. I don't know. Yeah, this wasn't drizzled. This was putting the popcorn seeds on a piece of foil, putting in a stick of butter, chopping up chocolate, putting it in there, putting another piece of foil over the top, and then popping it so that it pops up. It looked good. That's about all I can say. It looked good. One of the things that I have to really think about when I go to the Chattanooga market every week, well, I don't go every week, but the weeks that I go, they have a booth there that does nothing but pop caramel popcorn and bag it up. And I know my mom loves caramel popcorn, but these are like big, huge bags. And if I bought one, I would have to be eating it too. So I just don't buy one, and then she's out. She doesn't get any. But I'm not going crazy either. What do my daughters think of my YouTube channel? I think that's a really good question because I'm not sure. I know that I have one of my 3 daughters that watches every video. I know she does. She doesn't comment. None of them, very seldom do any of them comment anywhere, but they will tell me something about what they saw. And I try very hard not to make content that will embarrass them. And I could, but I try very hard not to. And so, they're very happy that I have a hobby, and they're very happy that it's bringing me a little bit of income in. But, I think the bottom line is that because I'm having so much fun doing it, they're all for it. And so, yeah, I think they're okay. All right, it's about 50 minutes in, and I'm gonna try to sign off here. Like I said, I'm going up to Sweetwater today and then back down to Athens to make a video about the Battle of Athens, Tennessee. And if you've never heard of that, do a Google search. The Battle of Athens, Tennessee happened in 1946, August 1st, 1946. We'll be talking about that. That's my plan anyway, to talk about that for tomorrow's Life in Motion Diaries video. So, and I'll show you around a little bit around Athens, which is a little, it's much bigger now, but the downtown historic area is just a cute little space. So anyway, I'm going to sign off. Oh, and Thursday I'm going over to the Ocoee Riverside Farm with my oldest granddaughter to do my Life in Motion Diaries video there, where we'll get to play with some baby kangaroos and a sloth and maybe pet some deer and some other stuff that goes on over there. The owner of that farm is a subscriber to this channel, so I've been wanting to get over there for a while. And I wanted to take somebody with me that I could put in the video rather than trying to video myself. So anyway, all of that is coming up. Yeah, catch a few winks. Yeah, I'll be taking a nap later myself. Let's see. Thank you all for being here, and I'm going to sign off now. I've said that like 8 times. I had the same problem when I was preaching. I would be like, I don't know how to end this, so we're going to end it now. Once the processing starts, I'll turn monetization on. So just keep in mind that if you come back to watch this later, the ads will start appearing then. Thank you all for coming, and we will see you again. Well, we'll have a lot of videos up this month, but first Tuesday of January we'll be back. And I'd love to do it outside somewhere, but my God, it's 25 degrees outside today, and I'm not doing that. So we'll eventually do some outside. Thanks for watching. We'll see you later.